Sakamuni, Sakamuni Buddha, Nama Sakamuni Buddha.
Thank you. Yeah, let me on again. Yeah, go ahead, Thang Thieng. We can read this one, please. The two paragraphs here.
Yeah, monk, you must understand this. That thus come one, and his use of expedient means penetrates deeply into the nature of living beings. He knows how the mind delight in petty doctrine, and how deeply they are attached to the five desires. And because they are like this, when he expounds nirvana, he does so in such a way that these person hearing it can readily believe it and accept it. Let us suppose there is a stretch of bad road, 500 yojanas long, steep and difficult, wild and deserted, with no inhabitants around and truly fearful place. And suppose there are a number of people who want to pass over this road, so they can reach a place where there are rare treasures. The heaven leader of comprehensive wisdom and keen understanding, who is thoroughly acquainted with this steep road, knows the layout of its passage and defiles, and is prepared to guide a group of people and go with them over this difficult terrain. Yeah, more about that. What I understand is the doesn't one use his expedient to understand the nature of the living beings, and he know how uh, um, he know about the mind and how they are deeply attached to the five desires. And when he talk about the nirvana, they are likely to accept it and believe it. And and then the Buddha say that so there is a place that is difficult to go, difficult to get there, and with no people around there, because this place is full of fear. If suppose that there are a number of people that want to pass over this road because there are many treasure, many rare treasure, and they also have one person who is a leader of comprehensive wisdom and keen understanding. So he know how to get there, and he prepared to guide these people over this to over to this travel.
Sorry, Thang Thieng. You know what are the five desires?
Yeah, more for five desires: um, eating, drinking. That's one. Um, so I don't know the proper order, but I can tell you the five different kind of desires. So one is drinking and eating. Uh, Another one is sleeping,
Okay.
and the third one is lustful.
Mm.
The fourth is uh, money. The fifth is fame. I don't think I named them all, but I don't know if I named them all. Yeah.
Yeah, cô Hân Nguyễn, he miss anything?
Yes, I I think Thăng Thiền mentions all of them thưa thầy. Something with the fame, like people want to be famous, and then sleeping, and yeah, I think I remember that.
Okay, so the 5 one is in order. The first one is the wealth. This include the money. The second one is sexual desire. The third is the fame. The fourth is the food, the drink, anything that we consume. The last one is entertainments. Yeah, that's the 5 desires. Okay, yeah, please, Cô Thân Nguyễn, can you read this? Any question for this part before we move on? Yeah, go ahead, Cô Thân Nguyễn.
Yes, the group he's leading, after going part way on road, became disheartened and say to the leader, "We are utterly as horses and fearful as well. We cannot go any farther. Since further there is still such a long distance ahead, we would like to turn around and go back." The leader, a man of many experience, think to himself, "What a pity that they should abandon the many rare treasures they are seeking and want to turn and go back." Having had this thought, he resorted to the power of experience means, and when they have gone 300 yojanas along the steep road, conjures up a city, he says to the group, "Don't be afraid. You must not turn back. For now here is a great city where you can stop, rest, and do just as you please. If you enter this city, you will be completely at ease and tranquil. Then later, if you feel you can go on to the place where the treasure is, you can leave the city." So in this part, the Lotus Sutra teaches us that because there are beings, they get tired on the way. So the Buddha used the skillful means to motivate them, that instead of letting these people wasting their energy to on the road to walk on the way to enlightenment, sometimes they are too tired. Then the Buddha just use his power to make a city in which there are stages that beings can take rest there, instead of going back to the cycle of births and rebirths. So this is what I understand from this part.
Yeah, this one is the chapter of transformation and city, right? So he gave the experience, mean to create this type of illusory city, so that his student and his follower could stay there instead of going back. Yeah, and Jimmy, can you read the next 2 paragraphs, please?
Yep. Okay. At that time, the members of the group, being earthly exhausted, are overjoyed in mind, exclaiming over such an unprecedented event. Now we can escape from this dreadful road and find ease and tranquility. The people in the group thereupon press forward and enter the city where, feeling that they have been saved from their difficulties, they have a sense of complete ease and tranquility. At that time, the leader, knowing that the people have become rest and are no longer fearful or weary, wipes out the phantom city and say to the group, "You must go now. The place where the treasure is close by." That's great. City of while ago was a mere phantom that I conjure up so that you could rest. Yeah. How I understand these two paragraphs in this Lotus Sutra, talking about the group and kind of for the close to the end of the road, there is always something good. Like same thing at the end of the tunnels, always is the light. So something similar to that. And so the leader is kind of encourage the people. There is no more hard road ahead of them when they leave the phantom city. So they will see a lot of treasure close by them. Yeah, Mofak, that's how I understood.
Tammy, is understandable? What do you think?
Yeah, so to me, the way I understand it is that just because they were getting so tired that he could see that, so that way he went ahead and presented this kind of disillusionment to him, so they could come back to peace and happiness, or to happiness. And then once they got rested and re-energized, then he took away the disillusions and brought them back to reality and showed them that they really were only partly there, and encouraged them to continue on their path.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah, please read the next one, please, Tammy. Yeah, these two para, please.
Amongst someone is in a similar position. He is now acting as a great leader for you. He knows that the bad road of birth and death and earthly desires is steep, difficult, long, and far-stretching, but that it must be traveled, it must be passed over. If living beings hear only one of the Buddha vehicles, then they will not want to see the Buddha. Will now want to draw near him, but will immediately think to themselves, the Buddha road is long and far-reaching, and one must labor diligently and undergo difficulties over a long period before he can ever attain success. The Buddha knows that the minds of the living beings are timid, weak, and lowly, and so using the power of expedient means, he preaches two nirvanas in order to provide a resting place along the road. If living beings choose to remain in these two stages, then the thus coming will say to them, you have not yet understood that is to be done. The stage where you have chosen to remain is close to the Buddha wisdom, but you should observe and ponder further. This nirvana that you have attained is not the true one. It is simply that the thus come one, using the power of expedient means, has taken the one Buddha vehicle, and making distinctions has preached it as three. So it's just saying that what he did, what the leader did, was like get them to what we would consider the first nirvana. But then once they got to nirvana, he explained to them, you need to go further. And I would see it going further being like becoming bodhisattva, to commit to returning and helping liberate others from suffering.
It's straightforward, right?
Yeah, with the one together.
Yeah. Ms. Thân Như, Ms. Thân Tư, you have any question about these power-ups?
I was just wondering, I thought that reaching nirvana is the ultimate stage. So in this concept or this passage is saying that it wants that nirvana is not enough, that if you want to, then you can go back and help others and come back and be rebirth. Am I understand that correctly or am I wrong?
Yeah. Here it's not the thing that you come back, but you need to work further. Like the Buddha say, all right, yeah, this is just the illusory city that I prayed for you to rest. So you need to move on to the place where you can get the treasure. So there's the Buddhahood. So Buddha say, yeah, after you attain Nirvana, it's not enough. You need to move on to attain Buddhahood. That's what the Buddha say. And in order to be Buddha, this means in order to attain the Buddhahood, you need to work on the path of Bodhisattva. That means you use your wisdom and compassion to help other people along the way to reach that Buddhahood. You don't come back as a normal person. You move on and use your wisdom to help others. That makes sense, Ms. Thân Tư?
Yes, I get it now. Thank you.
Yeah. And let's see here. Like give you that analogy. Let's say if you find out some place that you go there and you enjoy your life completely. Anything in life is like the paradise. Would you like to enjoy by yourself, or would you help other people to go to that paradise too? Tell me, you understand my question?
Oh, yes. So enjoying it by yourself seems selfish somewhat,
Yeah.
because especially if you have children or families, then of course you're going to want to bring them with you. So if you can see everyone as being your child or your parent or brothers or sisters, then you would want to return as a bodhisattva to help liberating everyone so that they can join you in the paradise of nirvana.
So that's logical, right? That's why it's not coming back, but you use wisdom to help them along. Like your young children, you guide them, right? You don't want to leave them alone, right? Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Mr. Thân Tư, can you read next, please?
Yes, Thầy.
Let me move this up. Yeah, please.
The Buddha is like a leader who, in order to provide a place to rest, conjured up a great city, and then, when he knew that the travelers were already rested, said to them, "The place where the treasure is nearby. This city is not real. It is merely something I conjured up." At that time, the world honored one, wishing to state his meaning once more, spoke in verse form, saying, "The great universal wisdom, excellent Buddha, sat in the place of practice for 10 kalpas, but the law of the Buddha did not appear before him, and he could not attain the Buddha way. The assembly of the heavenly gods, dragon, kings, asuras, and other constantly rained down heavenly flowers as alms offered to that Buddha. The heavenly beings beat on heavenly drums and made many kinds of music. A fragrant wind blew away withered flowers, whereupon fresh and beautiful ones rained down. When 10 small kalpas had passed, then at last he was able to attain the Buddha way. The heavenly beings and people of the world in their hearts are all felt dancing. The Buddha's 16 sons all, in company with their followers, 1,000, 10,000 millions of them gathered around, all came to a place of the Buddha, touching heads to the ground, bowing at the Buddha's feet, and entreating him to turn the wheel of the law, saying, "Saintly lying, let Dharma rain fall in full upon us and all others." So basically, like what it said before was there, he just made up a place to be rest, and but it wasn't real. It wasn't the path to go there yet. And then so the Buddha is basically doing more practice and for like 10 kapas, and but yet the law of the Buddha did not appear, and so he could not attain the Buddha way yet. So basically he's still practicing and giving alms to offer to the Buddha. And then along the way they had music and fragrance, and there's beautiful things that was rained down. So after the 10 kalpas is passed, they were able to attain the Buddha way. So they were very happy, and they were dancing. And so the Buddha's 16 sons was accompanied by all the followers, 10,000 millions of them gathered around, and they were touching their heads to the ground and bowing to the Buddha's feet. So in the end, they were happy, and resulting in the Dharma where all the rain and everything was happening. So they were happy that they were able to reach Buddhahood.
Yeah. So anyway, so this passage just summarize what we learned before, right? So the great universal wisdom, excellent Buddha. So it's been for a while for him before he attained Buddhahood. But after that, the 16 son of Bodhisattva request the Buddha to turn Dhamma wheel to give them the teaching, right? We just summarize what we learned above there. Miss Teng Như, you have any question about that or no?
No, I don't think.
Would you like to read this one, please?
Yes. The world honored one is very difficult to encounter. The world honored one is very difficult to encounter. Only once in a long time does he appear. In order to bring enlightenment to the many beings, he shakes and moves the regions all around. In the worlds in the eastern direction, in 510,000 million lands, the palaces of the Brahma kings glowed with the light they had never known in the past. When the Brahma kings saw this sign, they came in search of the Buddha's place, scattering flowers as a form of offering, at the same time presenting their palaces, entreating the Buddha to turn the wheel of the law, and praising him in verses. The Buddha knew that the time had not yet come, and though they entreated, he sat in silence. In the other 3 directions and the 4 directions in between, and in the upper and the lower regions, the same occurred. The Brahma kings scattering flowers, presenting their palaces, entreating the Buddha to turn the wheel of the law, saying, "The world honored one is very difficult to encounter. We beg you in your great mercy and compassion to open wide the gates of sweet dew and turn the wheel of the unsurpassed law." The world honored one, immeasurable in wisdom, accepted the entreaties of the assembly, and for their sake proclaimed various doctrines, the 4 noble truths, the 12-linked chain of causation, describing how, from ignorance to old age and death, all are produced through the cause of birth, saying, with regard to these many faults and vexations, you should understand this about them. Can you scroll back up, please? So it's saying that in the world honored one, that they were saying that it's very difficult to meet a Buddha or to encounter a Buddha. And it's very rare, and once in a long time, you do get that blessing. And to have, to bring enlightenment to the people, to the sentient beings, he got their attention by shaking and moving the regions around to bring attention to those sentient beings or people who are on the path of enlightenment. So in the worlds of the Eastern direction, the Brahma kings and millions of people were offering their palaces, and they were offering their, out of respect and reverence to the Buddha, they scattered flowers in response to him lighting up the 10 directions. So they asked him for the blessing by requesting that he teaches the Dharma, that he turns the wheel of the Dharma by teaching in the whole 10 directions the law. And he waited because he did not yet feel that it was time to teach. And then the other directions, 3 other directions, 4 other directions in between, from the zenith to the nadir, meaning from the top to the bottom, and in any directions in between. Again, people and the Brahma kings offered flowers and their palaces and other offerings in reverence, and again requesting that he teaches them the Dharma. And then at that time, he did finally consent, and he did start the teaching. And what he did was he did teach them the 4 Noble Truths and the 12 link chains of causation. And he says how with ignorance to old age and death, we are going through the samsara cycle. We are going through birth and death, and we need to be able to recognize, and we need to understand about it so that way we don't continue in this cycle forever.
Yeah, thank you. Okay, let me ask, I think a simple question. Why is it hard to see the Buddha then?
I think it's hard to see the Buddha if your mind is not yet ready to see the Buddha. I think if your mind is ready to see the Buddha, you can see the Buddha anywhere, anytime, and in any situations, whether it is difficult or whether it is simple.
Wow, thank you. Wow, that's exactly the answer I like to hear. Yeah. So can you elaborate more why we're not ready?
Perhaps because we have too many vexations and afflictions and hindrances that are in our mind. We are too bothered by the 5 senses, too bothered by our afflictions, and we are not yet ready to let them go, and we are too attached. So that's why we are not yet ready to see the Buddha.
Yeah, so let's say, Amitabha Buddha, right? He resides in the Western Pure Land, right? So let's say while you lie down there one day, and he come and say, okay, come with me to the Western Pure Land. And are you ready to go with him? What do you think?
I would be ready anytime the Buddha calls me.
Okay.
Because I know that that is the time where my burdens can be put down. But like I said, when you are ready, you are ready. You may not even regard those things up to then as your burden. I think it's just the concept of the mind that when you are there, you will recognize the time is the right time, and you can let go, whether it is and in my mind right now, you have worries about your children and your loved ones, but when you are ready, then you are ready to let go of all that attachment. And I don't think that you will be hindered by those attachments as much anymore.
Wow. To compare, right? Lê Thân Thiền, cô Thân Nguyễn, right? So you are single. It's easy to let go of everything if he come to invite you, right? Right? It's much easier, right?
Yeah, more Thai. Yeah.
But tell me, there's no way, right? No way for you to let go of that 2 children.
No, and even if I did, I'd fall right back down again. I don't have enough good merit that I don't think.
Yeah, that's why I say that when you're ready, the teacher will be there. When you're ready, Buddha will be there. If you're not ready, even they in front of you, you will reject him. You will run away from him. Another question I think we discussed before too. So the Brahma king, they offer the whole palace. Oh, stay. You go now. Okay, see you then. Okay. Yeah, so the Brahma kings, they offer their palaces to the Buddha. Why is that? Tell me. Why do they offer everything to the Buddha? Why is that?
For the Dharma, for his guidance, and even offering all the palaces, it's the Dharma is priceless. So no matter what amount you offer, it's there's even as many palaces, countless palaces, it's still not enough. So they would give everything that they had just for the word.
Like the student, right? If they go to medical school, right, they may loan a couple $100,000, right? But they know, they result that after their graduation, they become doctor and they can pay back all the debts, right? Of course, they would concern about the loan and the debt, but still they know, they trust the program that after graduation, they could make up with that type of debt. And so, so in the spiritual realm, yeah, for those Brahma kin, they concern more about spiritual more than the wealth. So, Cô Thông Nguyễn, when you were in school, you concerned about the student loan in Netherlands. Do they forgive the loan, or or you have to pay back the debt?
In the Netherlands, I was lucky that when I was 30, they provide 50% of the tuition fee. So depend on people who want to borrow more, then they have to pay back. But with the support of the government, and if people have job during student time, then they can pay it off today.
So they deduce 50% off?
Yeah, after we get a bachelor, they reduced 50%. They reduce 50% of what our study cost.
Wow, that's nice. Thân Thiện, you have to pay all, right? Thân Thiện, you're still working on your student loan, right?
Yes, yeah, I'm still working on my student loan. Yeah, it's a bit a long way. Yeah.
I remember on the day that they register my degree on the system, 30,000 euro just gone. Because the government support the student, but that law is no more applicable today.
Oh, really? Okay, it's too much for them, huh? All right, so thank you. So let's move on to the next one. Let's see here. John, you want to read? John?
Start at 1.
Yeah.
When he expounded this law, 610,000 million trillions beings were all able to exhaust the limits of suffering, all attaining the status of arhat. The second time he preached the law, multitude like 1,000 under suns ceased to accept the things of the phenomenal world, and they too were able to become arhats. Thereafter, those who attained the way were measurable in numbers. One might calculate for 10,000 million kalpas and never be able to reckon their extent. At that time, the 16 princes left their families and became Sharmanas. Altogether, they entreated that Buddha to expound the law of the great vehicle, saying, "We and our attendants are all certain to attain the Buddha way, to desire the wisdom eye of foremost purified, such as the world-honored one, possesses. The Buddha understood their boyish minds and the actions they had carried out in past existence, and employing immeasurable causes and conditions and various smiles and parables. He preached the 6 paramitas and matters
Yeah, finish all the para.
concerning transcendental powers, distinguishing the true law. The practical by Bodhisattva's preaching this Lotus Sutra in verses as numerous as the Ganges suns.
Yeah, can you summarize what's about? You understand, John?
Us understand a little bit.
Yeah, try your best to explain what you understand. We help you out.
See, so
Okay, so when the Buddha gave the teaching, right, 610,000 million trillion beings. So they attend the arhatship, right? And that's the first time, the second time too. There's so many of them attend the arhatship. And they, it's incredible numbers of them. And after that, the 16 princes, they left their family lives, right? They become monks, and they request the Buddha again to give the teaching. So that's why he said, we desire the wisdom eyes for more purity. So that one was just mean wisdom eyes mean the Buddha teaching. Yeah. Here I like to ask you that, okay, so historically, right, from the time that the Buddha was born, I mean, the attain enlightenment up to now, we know, especially during the Buddha times, many of them attain arhatship. But how could, in this sutra, mention about 610,000 million or trillion beings that attain arhatship then? What do you think? Is that possible? What do you think? That's the first time he taught, or that's the past Buddha. And second time he taught, that's again numerous people became arhat. How come? Is that possible? And Jimmy, what do you think? Is it possible? What do you think?
Yeah, Mofakte. Yes, there is possible if everybody, the first time that the Buddha taught to that many people, and if they practice the way that Buddha teaching them, that they could able to become arahat. Yeah, Mofakte.
Thank you. Hey, what do you think, Ms. Teng Yu? What do you think? Is it possible with that many people that attend arhatship?
Is your question, so you're mainly asking if it's the first time he taught, then how can all these people reach arhatship even after the first teaching?
Yeah, even first, second is numerous
Right.
people attend arhatship. Is that possible? That's my question.
I think it's hard for us to conceive it, but obviously it is possible, perhaps because they've already set up all the domino tiles in order. They've already set everything up in order with their actions, and they just needed that last encouragement or last blessing in the teaching of the Dharma of the Buddha to be able to get them to that next level.
Yeah. So how about Ms. Thân Tử? What do you think?
Yes, Tay. So I think for me, it's all a state of mind, right? So it depends on their state of mind and how the Buddha is teaching. And if they all have a will and the power to be able to have their mindset a certain way that they think that they're going to get there, then I think it is possible. But you know, there will be a small segment of people that will not be able to, but I think for the most part, if those that's already following the Buddha and they're trying to learn, that means their mindset is they want to reach a goal and they want to get to that destination already. So I think it is possible.
How about you, Ko Dong Win? What do you think? So how could those number of people attend hardship? There's so many of them, numerous of them.
Yes. So that I think because the Buddha, before he became the Buddha, he was many lives as Bodhisattva before. So on his way to Buddhahood, he teach countless of beings on his way, and therefore at the moment he attend the Buddhahood, those students of him also almost to become exactly level as the teachers, and then those students of him also have countless beings with them. So therefore they connect, and therefore for like generation later, those countless number, like one candle can light up unlimited other candles. What I understand.
How about Thầy Giáo Pháp? What do you think?
Yeah, more better. Yeah, before he became Buddha, actually he undergone a lot of car paths. That means we're talking about numerous, cannot count, right? To practice the Bodhisattva, and all these people follow him and learn from him. So he already taught them so much, and to the point when he became Buddha, and these people already they ready to be attend the Arhat. So when he did the first teaching, they be able to reach the Arhat. Just like when the water is in the cup, when the water is almost to the top, just a drop of water, it will make the water of the cup to be outflow, right? That's the same idea. So the same thing in here in this chapter here, we're talking about the 16 bodhisattva. That means the twins, right? They each one of them can be able to taught 610 million being, right? And after that, when they go to from one life to the other, all these people will follow him and keep learning until he become Buddha, and they are will become the great Bodhisattva, whatever. So the same concept.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, I have a short video clip that just show to our ESL student. I think it has some connection with our class here for you to enjoy here. So tell me, what do you think? Oh, sorry. What do you think? Tell me. If this dog become Buddha, what happened with the fish? What do you think?
Oh, surely they would follow and listen to him. He saved their lives.
Wow. Okay. Yeah, Miss Thang Tu, what do you think about that clip?
I think it's amazing how you know, like how do I say this? Like your past life, right? So the dog's destination of the past life is that he must have some affinity with the fish, and that, you know, he's not into eating or trying to kill the fish, but trying to save the fish, right? So the affinity between those two, there was something that is connected between those two in the past life, and it's wonderful to see. It usually when you see animals, you know, they're more attacking or they're more trying to eat other type of animals, but in this case it's unusual. So I think the affinity has something to do with it.
What do you think, Miss Thang Như? Yeah. So they make up, or they train the dog well, or what do you think?
I really like the video clip. I think it's so cute, but I don't know if you can train. I'm sure you can. I'm sure you can. Where if there are scientific experiments, psychological experiments, where you can train a dog to not respond or not to do something. So they've done that, and so you can train it. But for you to see the nurturing and the compassion, where the dog stays with the fish and nudges the fish on, trying to invoke it to start moving and to start living again, and to swim again. So he stays with it. That kind of action indicates to me it's probably lifetimes after lifetimes of already being in having the karma to learn and to practice the Buddha way. But the other thing that I thought was, did he slip somewhere along the way? So now he is back to a dog, and it could be negative or it could be positive. What I mean is, he was reincarnated as a dog. Did he somewhere along his karmic journey slip? Was he a person before? Was he a monk before? Or was he destined to, or karmically reincarnated as a dog to do some sort of good in the lives of the people that he touches now? So not necessarily is it a negative to be reborn as a dog if he has a purpose that could benefit others around him. Just like the bodhisattvas who in the sutras that say, if a person, if you can help another person become enlightened, if they, in the form of a layman or in the form of a man, or in the form of a woman, in the form of a Brahmin, or however it helps another person learn or accept or become enlightened, they will be in that form. So could this dog be in this form because it is the best form for him to help others?
Yeah, actually, in what you call Jakarta tell story of the past, like the Buddha, with many stories that the Buddha were animals. Like he was a dog, he was a elephant, he was a monkey, this was a bear, and so forth. But no matter what type of forms of life, whether it's animals life, human life, celestial life, he still did the Bodhisattva path. That means he sacrificed his life for others. And I think this video clips speak well about the Buddha past life. And in the Bodhisattva path, they don't worry much whether they come down as animals, or they be human again, or in heaven. As much as they have the tools, as much as they have the right ways, the right tools to help other people, that's fine. But for us, yes, somehow we concerned that one day we will be born as a dog, right? It's beyond our thinking, right? But for them, they would not care much. As much as they can help other people and any essential beings, they would involve into that type of form of life. So what do you think, Tammy? What do you think? You feel sorry for the dog, or what do you think?
No, I don't feel sorry for the dog at all. I think it's, a beautiful story. But I think that when it's reborn as a human, it may be difficult transition. And that, of course, it's going to want to have parents that are supportive in the transitional period.
You think the dog was trained well, or is his compassion? You remember Miss Thang Như mentioned, right? When he released the fish, he still stay there, right? To make sure the fish could swim back, right?
Right.
It's not the training, right?
No, it's not training all. It's all definitely, natural. You can, like she said, you can tell. Not only does it pick up the fish, and I believe that maybe there's not even affinity with the fish. It's just a natural reaction. I mean, they've not even known each other in past lives. It's just the way it is that it wants to save other beings. And like she said, it not only did it save the fish and put it back in the water, but it's, giving it kisses and giving it support to, help it revive itself. So no, it's all natural. You could probably teach, to a certain extent, but you can tell with that it's natural.
Which come from his own mind, right? So that's wonderful. Yeah. What do you think, Go Tong Wing? We watched this morning with the children, right? It must be a surprise, right? What do you think?
Yes, I think that's really nice video too, Thai. And I think all the kids was so clear seeing this. Just yeah.
Yeah, I asked him this morning. You still eat fish, but the dog doesn't. You know how to release the animals. The dog know. You know what I mean, right? A dog can do. Why don't we do, right? Yeah. So again, we go ahead, Mr. Go Thong Nguyen. What do you want to say again?
Just say yesterday.
So again, this illustrate, right? The animals, they have the Buddha nature there. They can practice the Bodhisattva path. They care for all the people. They care for all the sentient beings. And Jimmy, what do you think?
Yeah, I think this is the absolutely, he has a great heart and compassionate, help other animals while he can. I think if we live in this world like that, I don't think we don't have the world. Nobody just challenge nobody. It's just kind of, eat. Everybody just do their own thing and help each other, and we all be peaceful. Not just like right now we kind of hardish for everybody. Yeah, both things.
Mo Yu Thang Thieng, what do you think about that dog? You feel sorry for him, or you feel great? What do you think?
Yeah, I feel great for the dog, the way he practiced to save living beings. Even not many dogs like him can do. He's different. He has compassionate nature because of the practice he did in the previous life, and this is who he is. Yeah.
John, what do you think, John? Does that surprise you? The dog know how to release fish? What do you do, John? What do you think?
Yes, it's kind of surprising to see that. Usually, like for like seeing any other Mornay dogs, I don't think they would actually do that.
That's pretty rare, huh? Yeah. So thầy giáo Pháp, the last few days you went to the market and bought some animals and released them, right? for Thăng Thiện, right? So how is that, Thầy Giáo Pháp?
Oh, yeah. Oh, that's okay. I did that so many times when I was a layman. Anyway, I enjoy the releasing the animal. So well, we went to the market, supermarket, and where they sell the live fish in the tank. I think it's in the big tank, and fish, frog, and turtle. So whatever you want, you just point the finger there, and then that's the one you release. Otherwise, if other people point the finger, they become the food of the people.
So Tammy, you understand this this practice or spirit strength for you? What do you think?
So I had never heard of it before, but you all explained it to me a while ago, and so now I understand it. And just like we do it at the house all the time, when we find a little insect or bug or beetle, crawling around, then we'll catch it and release it back out.
Yeah. Yeah. So Miss Thung Như, what do you think? When we release the animals, how could we get the good karma? How could we recognize some type of good karma then? How could we explain to our non-Buddhists then? What do you think?
You mean how do we explain why we do liberation?
Yeah, and how could we explain to non-Buddhist people why do we need to spend our money for those animals that going to be eaten soon?
There's a twofold to that answer. I would explain that the karma of these animals subjected them to be in the form that they are right now. And the form that they are right now, it's inevitable that they will be killed for consumption for somebody's food. So the reason why we liberate them is to relieve them from that kind of suffering of being killed and being eaten. When we liberate them, we give them an opportunity to survive, which is that's the basic innate desire of any living, breathing things, is to live for as long as possible and to relieve them of the suffering of being killed, of having their heads chopped off, of having their bodies cut in pieces, is the least that we can do to liberate any living thing. And then there's a second fold to that. And when you say, how do you explain the benefits? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, to ourselves.
To ourselves. The same way that the Brahmins, I guess, dedicated and offered their palaces. So the Buddha is, you can see it in terms of one as an investment, but I think that should not be the motivation that we should have in terms of personal gains. I read somewhere in one of the sutras is once you give, it is you have no longer have attachment to that that you give and to the person that you give it to. So I thought that was profound in that once you do an act, it is, that it will benefit that the animal that you liberate, but you shouldn't be too overwhelmed or too concerned about how it benefits you. So that it's going to happen anyways, because that's the law of nature, but I wouldn't be too focused on the benefit that it goes back to you, too much about that. I would, it's advised that you just focus on the liberation for the benefit of saving a living thing.
Yeah, thank you. Well, Ms. Thăng Từ, what do you think? Could we feel the benefit when we release animals or when we help the poor people or whichever? You think we could feel that, or just we do it because other people do so? What do you think?
For me personally, when I give or when I help others or when I release, like fish or whatever type of animals, it's a sense of relief in that you're helping someone, right? You're helping, you put yourself into, regardless if it's a human form or not human form, it's still a living being. And you put yourself in that situation where you want to be killed and definitely you don't. So when you're able to do something like that, I feel really good. And to be able to help, it's like helping one another, right? So any form, whether you're helping the poor or helping someone, saving their life, obviously it's going to make you feel good. So you don't do it because others do it. You do it because you think that it's the right thing to do.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, cô Thương Nguyễn, in Netherlands, in the summer it's cool, right? It's not too hot, right? You have the chance to release any kind of animals, the fish, or the bird, anything before?
Yes, thưa thầy, but I only when I was in Vietnam. But in here, yeah, we don't have this chance to buy so much birds and fish to release them.
Even in the pet store?
No, thưa thầy.
Oh, they don't have pet store over there?
Everything in the supermarkets is not alive.
No, I mean that in the pet store, the store that they sell all kind of animals, the birds, the fish, they don't have the pet store over there?
Yeah, I never been there.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I think something related to the Dutch law. Yeah.
Oh, really?
They
Oh,
also very protect animals, so that those shop not exist, I think.
oh, really? So they don't sell any kind of wild animals in the pet store, huh?
No.
Oh, they don't. Oh,
A
really?
live animal are not allowed to sell.
Oh, really? Oh, wow, it's strange.
Yeah.
Okay, but there's a lot of fishermen over there too, right?
Yes, a lot of fishermen, but they are very organized. Those people, like, they do this for generation to other generation. It's not easy to become a fisherman. So yeah, they do like this.
Okay, anyway, so you did that when you were in Vietnam only, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so thank you. So time is up now. Let us end today and we move on to next week then. All right, go ahead, Thân Thiện. Yeah, go ahead, please.
Namo Sakamuni Buddha. Namo Sakamuni Buddha. Namo Sakamuni Buddha.
All right, thank you. Let's see you then.
Thank you.